that already had experience instead of going for the we'll earn experience as we go along. So we went and found people who've worked in sales and marketing for 25 plus years to actually share a piece of the company with. That's our strategy, like, right? Like even myself, I wouldn't have even been on this team or even considered, helping found it if I didn't know that, right? They're looking for people with experience. I had 9 years of previous entrepreneur experience, sales experience before this year, right? So now that you know all their problems from step 3, you should just write them down. Just open a notes app. It doesn't have to be super fancy. I can't give you this beautiful template. I don't know all the problems for every niche you're going to be a part of, right? But once you have that hyper-specific niche, you know who you're going for, you go do free labor to get a great case study, you get them some results. Upon getting them results, you'll realize that it was a lot harder than what you originally had thought. And then you'll realize something else. You'll be like, oh my gosh, it gives me all these other ideas on how I could improve for the next customer. That's why I recommend 2. 1 is okay. But once you have one happy guy from, he's paying for all the ad spend and things like that, he's seeing results, he knows his money got used appropriately, you'll have 1 fan. And if you do it twice and you have 2 fans, then it's fantastic. The golden number is 3 if you do 3 free case studies. And it is possible if you're in a living situation that complements that. So if you're living at home or you have very cheap rent and you have like a little nest egg saved up, that's the best time to do it. If you don't have any of that, go find 1, okay? But if you do 3, record a video with them, get their information, have them write a statement. Once you do that, you have 3 raging fans, which brings me to step 2 before your real customer acquisition campaign goes out. Now, keep in mind, you can try to find some customers here, but now that you understand like everything about your offer, you're in a really good spot. Like, think about where you are now. You realize I'm only trying to impact one type of person inside of this plumbing niche. I am fully aware of how the problems have affected them and the problems that I can fix. And I've had 3 people make me videos saying that I did a great job. And then the third thing was I have this giant list of problems so that as my skill tree grows, I can implement them into my digital marketing offer. The next thing is you have to have a brand. So most agencies are remote. So content's kind of that key word. I'm going to let you guys in on a small secret. It's really not a big secret, but we're living in a content-driven economy. At the end of 2022, everything has to be content, right? And we're in the end of 2022. That was already the market prediction. In 2023, it'll be almost content derived. So you have to understand that in a content-driven economy, you need content and you need a website, right? That's part of your branding. So website, how much does that cost? What do you do? Where do you find it? Go to WordPress, go to Shopify, open a 3-page website, write down your offer on the home page, write down who you are on the last page, put some details of your case studies in the page in the middle. 3-page website will sell more than any type of, calling a million people on the phone and not having a website. Once you have that website, go to canva.com, it's completely free, and make like 30 posts surrounding your irresistible offer that you've made. This should not take that long, okay? Because you spent more time doing research and copywriting a truly irresistible offer because you know all the problems they're having. And now you're at the point where you can make some content. We're in this stage right now. We launched this as our test, right? So for our agency, we had some previous experience, which is why we're tracking like 200K for these last 60 days of the year. But that being said, you don't have to be that, right? If you're right in the beginning, you can actually nail this first time. Most people say they prefer to see an entrepreneur fail 3 businesses or something like that. But that being said, it doesn't really matter. You can get your first business. You can be a rock star right off the bat. We're in the age of information. So that being said, you have to understand branding. Branding can only be done if this was done. This is the building block, your irresistible offer, what you're selling. I'm going to give a quick example as to why content's going to be the easiest step after completing the irresistible offer step. Guys, it's just like Facebook. They spent 2 years coding this great app that took like 6 months to blow up over 1 million. Once you spend that time, could be a month, could be a couple of weeks, might be 3 months, but it'll be worth it no matter what. For us, that was 2 years. So that being said, Branding is going to be pretty dang easy. You'll spend a week sitting down. You'll know everything about your business's offer. You'll make some content, and then you'll begin posting. Hold yourself to the 1 to 3 pieces of content a day rule. If you don't have a YouTube channel like myself, then obviously use what's best. I'm a little bit of an old soul, so I love Facebook. Facebook's honestly my favorite. So I post on Facebook, right? And no, I don't have, a million followers. But what I do know is I'm launching an influencer campaign with a group of people in Iowa. So in 90 days, we should scale pretty far, but that's because we spent 2 years preparing it. So we know what we're going to talk about. Once you understand all this and you've done those 3 things, which is number 1, find a hyper-specific niche. Number 2, go find 1 to 3 people to do it at low cost or completely free. And then number 3, write down every single problem you observed during the time of doing the low cost and free work so that you can do step number 2 in this equation, which is make a bunch of content that says, hey, I have the solution to your problem. That's it. I have the solution to your problem. You don't need to do anything else. There's not a ton of fancy content tricks you have to do. You're impacting plumbers, for goodness sake. They don't really watch a lot of, TikTok or whatnot. But they do want a solution to their problem, which is I don't have leads, I don't have a website, I don't have social media, and I need it now. It's 2023. So if that's what you're fixing, fix it. Now, once these 2 steps are fully completed, right? I hope that we've taken some good notes. Again, I can't share as many company resources, and I'm trying to get back to Ryan's community as best I can. So once these 2 are done, now you can do this hot topic. This is what they don't tell you in this equation. The customer acquisition is in the middle. It's done after these 2 things. That's a profitable infrastructure. That's a profitable agency right there. So now, let's chat about customer acquisition and what it looks like in our company, some options that you can do in your company. Finally, how to make the best choice for the offer you've just constructed and the content you've just made. So, customer acquisition is a loose term. Basically, it's the art of finding a customer. It's the slang that the servers and the SEO and all of these databases. The bottom line is this. Whether you decide to do paid and organic or whatever you choose for marketing, you should always start with outbound. And why is that? Let's dial it back to where we are in our plumbing. Okay? We literally only have 3 customers. We don't have a list of phone numbers from previous experience that we can just have people call. We have 30 pieces of content and a website. That's why you have to work. You have to work to find customers right now. You still haven't earned it. You're not Ivan Gadzi. You're not, Grant Cardone's son. It's unfortunate but true, and nobody's going to give you anything. And when you understand that in the business world, you are ready to be successful. You don't need to have $1 million mindset. You just need to have the mindset that nobody owes you anything, and everything from this point forward is your fault. Good, bad, it's your fault. If you succeed, it's your fault. If you fail, it's your fault. That is why outbound crafts the legends. For myself, that was door-to-door. I joined a door-to-door company for 2 years, and I finished out in their corporate office. That's where I managed over 750 people and just assisted there, took training calls, trained their managers and whatnot. That's kind of where I cut my teeth in, and nowadays that's done in outbound. For me, every single night till 10:30 I pushed. I'm going to explain the value of that. We were required to work from 2:30 to 8:30. So for me, I started at 2 and went to 10:30. That was a choice, and it's not required. But what it did was it allowed me to knock more doors. This is a game of volume, okay? You don't have $10 million to spend on ads, so why on earth would you pay $100 for ads so that you can hit 5% of what your competition, the dude over here who's been working since 2008, has 10 years of experience, is paying $10, $20, $30, $40,000 a day to hit your exact same market. You're not going to win. I'm sorry, it's a waste of ad spend. If you get anyone, they're stupid and they're not going to stay on, and you're not going to make it to great fulfillment. So how do you find someone? You've got to find a way to get with them one-on-one. And that is how outbound marketing works. What is the most theatric and creative way that I can find a customer and chat with them one-on-one? For us, we implement direct message infrastructures. So every single infrastructure that we build is capable of hitting at least 5,000 people a month. And we do it at extremely low cost because, again, our industry that we've kind of crafted between two mixes of an industry is called bias. It's just like software as a service, except it's business infrastructure as a service. And we do it with business development, which is where you partner up with somebody for an extended period of time and grow their business. So that being said, customer acquisition for us is key. And guys, we land literally 2 to 10 calls every single day on repeat. And then we even have our own salespeople that source and find their own calls and sell things. That is why we're winning. And we haven't spent $1, not a single dollar on paid advertising. Nothing at all. And why is that? It's because we're willing to do the work. If you don't have the money, spend the time. Okay, you have to spend one of those two things. If you have $1 million, go paid advertising. Go find a specialist, craft an offer, and buy the audience. If you don't, go work for the audience. How are you going to do that when you literally just have 3 customers in this new offer? Pretty simple. If you're going to do an email campaign, send literally 300 emails a day. Okay? Email is going out of style, but it's not out of style. Email is very useful, and people do check their emails, but it is not as useful as, per se, a phone call or a direct message. So for me, I look at email as a C grade acquisition level type of thing, because why? Well, I can automate emails. Okay, I'm not, we're in a technology business, so for us, we just automate emails. If you can't automate emails, literally do the work. Email address, copy, paste, and send. Copy, paste, send. If you have $0 and just some results and some good content, do that. You'll get, $10,000 that month. However, this is the route that I would take if I was by myself. I didn't have a team of like 20 people, and I was in my bedroom. Okay, I would message 100 people with a problem that I know I could solve. Okay, and then I'd do it at low cost, and then I'd write down all the new problems I was addressing, fix that for some people. I'd probably do 3. Then I would make 30 pieces of content that I'm going to recycle for the next month on Canva and a website. And then I would message 300 of those people a day. And how am I going to find them? Super easy. There's 3 platforms that are the easiest for this: Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. I'm literally going to give it away because I know that I could tell 100 people exactly how to do this. 5 might do it, and 1 for sure will do it. I hope that all of you are that one that will for sure do this, because you will make money. Hopefully, through reciprocity, come back and allow us to implement a technical infrastructure so you can have a full infrastructure and team. But that being said, once you get to this point, open your Facebook app. It is completely free. Go to the search bar and type in plumbers. Then go to the people who just joined the group. Remember, you're helping people in their first year. And message all the new people that join that group. You don't even have to make the Facebook group. You just have to get in it. And do that 150 to 300 times a day. It will literally take you 8 hours. But hey, you got nothing else going on. You just have 3 people that kind of like what you're doing and a list of problems that you know how to fix. So that is where customer acquisition truly counts. Okay, if you're sending 50 emails, don't expect to be a millionaire. You will never be a millionaire. You might be a thousandaire next year because somebody stupid bought from you and you had no experience. Okay, you didn't work in a company, you didn't have a course, you probably didn't do these 2 steps. But now that you know these 2 steps, you owe it to yourself to do them. Go find a hyper-specific niche, find their problems, and actually genuinely fix them. Find some leads and make their business money. I made over $3 million in my first year for the business I worked at. And then I went to their corporate staff and made them $10 million. And then after that, I left an idea that made $25 million upon implementation. Then I went opened a business, right? So what I want to explain to you is, guys, this is hard and it sucks, but it's worth it. It's worth it because if you really want to be a great entrepreneur, you will send 300 of something out to a prospect that you know you can fix the problem. We're going to dial it back here for a second and go over why, when you're finding a hyper-specific niche, why it's so valuable to have a hyper-specific niche when you get to this step 3. If you go for an exact avatar inside of the niche of plumbing, you can actually use search terms to find them for outbound. So if you're going to join groups on LinkedIn, you're going to join groups in Facebook, you're going to join groups, Instagram doesn't really have groups. You'd use hashtags at that point, just like hashtag plumbing, and you look for the newer pages that don't really have a lot, message them and offer to make the Instagram page bigger in our, theoretical SSMA story here. So to truly get to the point, and this is really just closing out here, where you have a profitable infrastructure. Keep in mind, you still have to fulfill the product. You still have to close them, right? You have to close them. You have to know sales so you can close them out. But focus on the step that you're on, not the influencer on TikTok who's telling you that you can be the best if you buy a course. Literally just focus on the step that you're on. If you do the irresistible offer, and then you do the content, and then you find the customer, you sell them, you fulfill the customer, you have a business. You have broken free of the matrix. It's up to you, depending on what kind of entrepreneur you are, to track that data so you can turn around and teach it to the next person and they can build your business. But in conclusion, this is the biggest mistake of 2022 in marketing. Marketers ruin everything. We always do it. We literally, whatever cool word we make, we'll make a whole new definition for it, pay millions in ads. All of our influencers will say it's just the nature of the beast for marketing. But customer acquisition is going out and finding a customer, and it's derived in marketing. What it really was before 2022 was direct-to-consumer marketing. It was where they would send flyers out, send door-to-door people out, actually email people. It's called direct-to-consumer marketing. The slang is customer acquisition, and although it is accurate, marketers kind of did this. So if you want to find, some good techniques outside of this, sort of intimate training that we got going on here, you guys should look up direct-to-consumer marketing. You're going to be surprised that a ton of people were posting about that when that was hot. Ty Lopez and all these guys talking about how to actually do this. This is why you're finding new information and why you're seeing people that are popping in 2022. It's because it's a search term, it's slang for direct-to-consumer marketing. Look up direct-to-consumer. There are a ton of copywriters and old business people that literally know everything about it. I'm not saying that you need to go knock doors, but I am saying that you need to look at the old way of how this was done so you know what is working still in the modern way, which is online, and then find those and make your own sort of customer acquisition plan. But no matter what plan you make, you do email, right? That's really my lowest choice. Direct message is my highest. Phone is right there in the middle. A lot of owners have their phone on silent nowadays, but I can guarantee you, just like we were discussing earlier, in a content-driven economy, whether they're a CEO or whoever they are, okay, they are always going to go on an app like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, or their kids are going to go on it or something. It's impossible to avoid. So that's why I like direct messages as a campaign. And it is competitive, guys. Got to be on your copywriting, which is why you should spend some time with the people that you're trying to fix problems for and make some content telling other people with the same problems that you can fix them, and then literally be the ad itself. Because you know what the guy who's spending $1 million isn't doing? He's not on his phone for 10 hours a day messaging 300 people and actually having a conversation and then sending them a calendar link, meeting them on a Zoom, showing what they did in the other 2 steps, selling them and fulfilling them, because you know that you can fulfill people when you have 1 to 3 people that have already been happy with your services. So in conclusion, if you're trying to make a profitable agency infrastructure, you really only need these 5 steps. There's a lot of fancy ways of people talking. There's a lot of cool things to do, but customer acquisition is truly derived from direct-to-consumer campaigns. And what it is going out and interrupting your customer's day in some way and making sure to have a conversation with them so you can sell them. That's it. It's not super complicated. It's actually very, very simple. And I will post this visual in there. Doesn't look like we have a ton of extra time to go over some other stuff. So what I'd like to do is open it up to questions for the next 9 minutes. And I'll answer anything business related, personal experience related, whatever you guys need. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. Let's go ahead and do that. And yeah, I'd like to open it up for some questions. Anyone have any? Do not be shy. No?
I'll just pop in here since no one seems to be saying anything. But I mean, first of all, like before I ask anything, like really appreciate this. I think this was super valuable. I think people
No
got a
problem.
lot of value out of it. I got some value out of it. I guess one question I want to ask on behalf of the service, like, you're obviously working with a lot of agencies with client acquisition, right?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of like cold acquisition method do you see working the best for those newer agencies? Do you implement everything for them, or like do you kind of stick with like one thing to start?
We stick with direct messages. So here's how our actual process works. Number one, we stay with them for 90 days because our industry that we're kind of developing exists in business development. It's where you partner up with that company. So we actually stay with them, help make sure everything's happening. There is an appointment guarantee because they need their ROI. So what we do is we'll stay with them, help with direct messages, hire their staff, get all their technology in place. Because again, we're not a marketing company; we're a technology company that sells marketing infrastructures. So as a tech and IT company, we actually have to code a lot of things, integrate a lot of things, customize certain aspects so that they can track their staff because they're in a remote work situation. So that's where that 90 days sort of comes through. But the first step that we do is we throw a customer acquisition system on the front end because we know if they're making money, they're going to work with us for a long time. Then on the back end, that's where we do the TikTok marketing, the SaaS, all that stuff in terms of leads. We actually have a database on the back end. It's 320 million. I think they're adding like another 220 million worldwide leads. So hot email lists that are being warmed up by phantoms and whatnot. But until we know that that company is stable from those 90 days, we won't offer anything past that point. But that's where we see that benefit. So the service itself starts in customer acquisition, organizes the company. The goal of our company specifically is to help people acquire clients and then stabilize their business with an infrastructure so that they can actually hire staff and whatnot. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. So I mean, it sounds like DMs are working the best for you, for these agencies at least, and then you kind of build on that with the brand.
Yeah, they really are, and I think it's mostly because a lot of people are looking at content. Emails are right there. Justin says, "Hey Ezekiel, bro." ...
I think there's more. I think before that, there's also a question from Jacob. Maybe if you want to touch on both.
Guys, feel free to come off mute. I have not really been checking the chat, so if you want to come off mute, let me know. We'll do one at a time. So yeah, let's go ahead and utilize this chat. Justin, if you would like to come off mute, can you read me your question so that everyone can hear it in case anyone is on instead of reading? The mute button is...
You can't do it.
Okay. I can't. It's kind of 2 in the morning. All right.
I can read it out, or you can read it out.
30 to 50 emails and maybe 120 MZA. I've closed 7 meetings past 24 hours and realized my volume is low. Should I hire a VA? So that's what we do. We will place anywhere from 1 to like 5 VAs in the company. And yes, VAs are really good, but you really need a VA structure. So here's what I'll tell you about VAs specifically. They will come and go all the time unless you have a sustainable management structure. So if you haven't managed a team, managing a VA is absolutely no different from their having an audio issue. But okay, sounds good. So to address the rest of the group, except for Jacob, who has the audio issue, guys, what a VA is a trainee. They are not a machine, they're not an object, and they are actually on the team. So you got to remember there's a human on the other side of that screen. So you should be really good at managing and training before you hire a bunch. But if you do one and you pay them really well, right, they're not going to stick around for $3 unless there's an amazing management structure around that. You pay them good, right, and that could be $5 an hour, right, maybe $100 a week. Whatever it is, pay them effectively and make sure they get paid. The big secret of VAs is they want to get paid. They have a family to feed, and they need to be trained. Hiring a VA with previous experience and expecting them to just come in and know what to do is ridiculous. You'll never maintain a staff. And you'll never maintain a staff member anyway. Again, we trained managers in sales, and those guys even left, even though there was a 20-year-old company doing $250 million a year in place. You got to understand, if your VA is like coming and going and stuff, you're not really doing a good job as a manager, and it's not their fault, it's your fault. Because just like you said here, you've closed 7 in the last few days. Great job, by the way, brother. That being said, that VA is not going to come in and beat you. They're going to come in to learn from you. So if you understand that, then I'd go through with the VA. Otherwise, I'd go find somebody to train them. That's why we're here. It's not a self-plug at all. That's me saying, hey, at least make sure that you can manage people before you hire a bunch of VAs. One, you can probably get away with, but make sure you understand they're a person before you start telling them, hey, send 500 emails. And make sure that before you make an expectation that you've completed it yourself. I think it's something in business that people really forget all the time. You can't tell people to do more than you. The average management rule, at least in, corporate management, is, hey, people are going to work half as hard as you. A VA is no different. They are going to work half as hard as you. So if you're sending 50 emails and 120, messages, just expect them to send 25 emails and 10 messages. But what I would do is send 150 direct messages and 100 emails. And then after that, you can tell them what to do because you've lived in their day, you've been in their shoes, you can train them. Does that make sense? I'm going to go with a yes. I know your audio is there. Okay. Guys, is there any other questions? I'll read through here. It's mostly Justin saying his audio is off. Okay. Jacob, audio-wise, are you good? For everyone wondering, the audio button to come off is all the way on the left. The reason why we did Google Meet is I wasn't sure how many out-of-country people we have, and we actually use Google Meet to train VAs. Okay. Sounds good. I got you, Jacob. Are there any other questions? But that would be my thing on VAs. We actually have a few on staff that are absolutely killing it. And yeah, that's our outreach specialist. We also hire American appointment setters. So as a beginner, I'm wondering where to start. Would I work alongside another business or learn and develop in service? So 2 routes that you can start if you're a beginner. For me, I chose to work with another business because I found that highly interesting, and as a very energetic person, it just worked out better for me. I didn't really get a lot from courses, so I just went and worked in a business to keep me busy throughout the day. That is not what you have to do, but it is an option. It's route 2. Route 1 is to go with the irresistible offer, work for free, as a consultant or something to get those case studies just so that you know those problems. For me, agencies and salespeople, I worked inside of agencies and I worked with a sales company beforehand. So I really was in tune with the 2 people we help. We have an academy where we train, remote workforces, and then we have our infrastructure, which is there. So kind of have 2 aspects that we're running on the front and back end. I will make sure to post the official website and everything when it gets updated. We have our guy literally working on it tonight. I think it's going to come out Friday, but you'll be able to see the videos that I post on there as well. And what I would say is, hey, when you watch that, don't feel any pressure, but it's really up to you. If you're a very energetic person, go work in a company. It's going to be a lot more fast-paced, and you're going to have a lot of learning experience that way. If you're a more thoughtful and introverted type of person, I recommend going the service route and finding 3 people to fulfill at a low budget where they're covering the costs of your actual product, and then you get those results and go into the next step. But that would be me. Okay. Any other questions? So just, to reiterate, 2 steps: go work in a business or go find 3 people to fix problems for. I think that's it, Ryan. Honestly, right on the money, 550. Guys, if you need anything, you know where to find me. It's Ezekiel J. Bucci Torres. Company is calendarappointments.com. It's literally the actual domain. We own it. So if you guys need anything, let me know. Other than that, thank you so much to this bro. Really helped a lot. Not a question. Just wanted to say thanks a lot. Well, you guys are welcome. I just want to give back to the community that I've actually taken some from. If you're wondering, normally I don't dress like this. I literally got off a flight 20 minutes before making sure my setup was ready to go so that we could do this. But hey, the recording is going to be available. I just want everybody to know the recording as well as that sheet that I used for the presentation are both going to be available. I'm going to give them to Ryan because it is his community and he can decide what to do with it. So do you know kind of if you're going to post it in there or not at this point, or is that something to be decided?
Yeah, I'll probably post it. Don't think I'm gonna really try to milk this too much. I think the more people that have access to it, the community, the better.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, man. Like, I just want to say, really appreciate this. Want to echo the other guys in the chat. Like, I think a lot of people got a lot of value out of this, and just kind of like to let you guys know, like everything Ezekiel talks about today, like I can kind of vouch for it, right? I kind of done the exact same things in my business. I'm closing, 1 to 2 clients a week now. I'm booking 3 to 5 sales calls a day using the exact same processes, right? Dialing in your marketing, dialing in your copy, testing, and just slowly you'll booking in like cheap ass clients at the beginning. It's all part of the process, right?
Parents that turn into high ticket dreams, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I went from booking like $500 a month for clients like 2 to 3K now, right? Like it's gonna happen, and you just follow the process. But yeah, I know this was super valuable. Appreciate it.
The last thing I'll say off of that remark, guys, all this information is absolutely free. We're in the age of information. We're in the age of, hey, everything is available to everyone, and that's the economy. So the people that are going to win are the people that are going to work smart, because people that just work hard are part of hustle culture. Most of the time, those guys don't have money. Okay, you have to work smart, so know exactly who you're trying to impact, know exactly what stuff you're trying to look up. Pick your business before you try and start it. Like, pick one of them, right? If you do drop shipping, SSMA, do anything. You're going to go the agency route, figure out what kind of agency you want to start, and then literally just search that topic on YouTube. And thank